Hi, we're going to be doing a case study today based on shoulder overhead mobility. Sometimes this can be caused by an injury, it can be structural, sometimes soft tissue, but what we're going to do is check and see if we've got any movement deficits, and then what we're going to do to address it and create a much more mobile, pain-free, and strong movement. Okay? So I'm going to have you straight arms, straight up overhead for us, and let's see if there's any difference there. You can already see there's a slight difference between the left and the right shoulder, particularly here. If you can see that, there's a little bit of a rib flare there. I'm going to have you lower your arms and face that direction for us. Okay, we want to make sure that the arms are coming up around the ear range to make sure we have full range of motion. Go ahead and do that again for me. All the way up. We can see there's a little deficit here. Right arm is coming much further back. Go ahead and lower again. Okay. Now turn your back to the camera for me. So just looking straight on, you can see we have a much more elevated left scapula. Right scapula is actually drifted off to the outside. We're going to go ahead and raise again. Again, we have a range of motion deficit from left to right, and we had altered movement pattern through the scapula. Bring it back down again. So from here, I'm going to do a joint test and see if there's an actual structural derangement. So during our pre-screen, we actually found out that she had a strain history after a yank and pull and a fall down some stairs many years ago. But she's had some issues ever since. So I'm going to come in and check the capsule in the shoulder and see if we have any limitations. We're going to check inferior capsule. There's a little restriction, but nothing crazy. I'm going to go inferior, posterior. Nothing issue there. Feels good. Okay. And if we come anterior and posterior again, there's a little restriction, straight, clean posterior. But again, it's nothing major. Okay. So at this point, I'm satisfied that we don't have a capsular derangement. So since I know that the shoulder capsule is fine, we're going to move into seeing what other movement dysfunctions we've got going on. I want you to take the right arm overhead again for me. Good. Bring it back down. That way we've got something to compare it to. Okay. We're going to do this again on the left arm. We have a little bit of a lift here, you can see. Rib cage is shifting up, and we still have a limitation in the range of motion. Bring the arm back down for me. Okay. Any pain with any of that?
No, just tender.
Okay. And then you're going to take both arms up. Okay, so we have one thumb able to reach the wall, one thumb does not. Okay, bring it back down. I'm going to have you change walls and raise up. And there we go again. There's our lift, and there's a separation. Right. We're going to check out the lat and see if that's contributing. So we're going to do a pin and stretch. We have a lacrosse ball or a soft mobility ball on the lat. And we're going to actively stretch the arm into flexion. Back down. Let's do 5 reps of that. Okay, so just addressing the lat, we already have better range of motion, but she's still stressing a little bit to make it happen, a little bit of an overachiever, and we still have a little bit of lumbar extension that we can deal with. So we can activate some stabilization through the anterior, and hopefully that will help settle the rib cage and give her a cleaner movement pattern. So we know we want to improve some anterior stability. So what we're going to do is an isometric crossover dead bug, which is a whole lot of words that essentially I need you to pick up both knees for me. Okay. Are you okay in this position? Mm-hmm. No pain? Okay. And you're going to cross your hands, pressing into the top of each knee. Good. So I want you actively pressing, everything engaging. It's nice and stable right through the ribs. Everything's holding down. Now we need to activate that overhead flexion. So you're going to reach with the left arm overhead while you reach away with the right leg. And bring it back in and then switch. Nope, not hands. There you go. You can just pull it out from underneath. There you go. Just maintain that downward press into the knee that's remaining stable. Really reach with that arm, turn the thumb down towards the floor, and let's see if we can get a little bit cleaner movement in that shoulder. Here we go, that's a little better. Good job, and we'll rest on this one. Okay. So we have much better range of motion now. We're almost flat to the table, but we still have a little bit of a lift here, but her rib flare in the front is much better controlled. Okay? So let's do a little bit more work and see if we can't get some more stabilization in that shoulder so she can more cleanly move through the range. Palms together for me. Good. Come here, shoulders down. Okay. Once you're actively pressing into each hand, she's going to try and hold this position for me while I challenge it. Okay. Try not to move. Don't move. Don't move. Don't move. Lock in that core. There you go. Don't move. Good. Rest. Okay. We're going to do this again, but we're going to go a little bit more overhead. Got it? Good. Hold. Good. Okay. We lost a little bit of range there. Okay. So let's go with an isolated. I'm going to let you rest your right arm. Let's bring up the left arm only. Okay. So what we're going to do is I'm going to transition into a manual resistance. I want you to push into my hand, take it overhead, take it overhead, take it overhead. Now pull down. Good. Up, 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 up. Down. Up, down, up, down, up. Come on, down. Good. Rest. And back up again. Now you're going to hold here. Don't let me move it. Move it. Keep it still. Nice and steady. Nice and steady. Hold it still. Rest. And one more go. Up and over. Hold steady. Hold. And down, and push, and relax. Okay, let's come back up to the wall. Make sure you've got your back flat, core is engaged, thumbs up, and let's go straight to the wall. That is what we want. So after we've done all of our hands-on skills, we're going to try a retest. Let's see that range again. Back down, turn to the side, and back up, and back down, face away, and back down. There's still a very small difference, but the overall mobility and coordination patterning is significantly improved. Go ahead and turn back around. So now we're going to load the movement pattern that we've been working so hard to regain. All right. I'm going to give you a kettlebell. You're going to do an overhead press. Good. And bring it back down and repeat. And keep going, pressing through. that's how we're going to progress this, and as we get into more functional load capacity, it'll be more stable and carry through, and she can go right back into the gym and continue training her newfound range of motion.